service now. Heavens to Betsy. Alright, hold on, let me see this thing here. Now I have two bars of bad. There we go. Oh, it actually wasn't a bad signal on the other stream. Okay. Alright. There we go. We'll see how this does. Alright, we're back. Back on YouTube as well. It's dissipated by now, but guys, it's like, and it's windy. Guys, that was ridiculous how many people were here. Hold on, alright, we're live now. Alright, YouTube's involved. Yeah, guys. There were like 10,000 people here. I took so much video. We'll review it on my stream at home, right? Hello from Germany. Hello. People down here dancing. Hello from Germany. Hello. I finally got enough cell service to do a stream. I finally have enough. Guys, it's the amount of people that were in here. It was full. It went all the way back. Like all this was full of people. Okay, but I took video. Yes, lots. Yeah, it's done. It's fizzling out now. It was impossible. Not a block radius. I streamed on Facebook though. You guys gotta follow my Facebook page. You gotta follow the Facebook page. Also, I still need to continue fundraising for my live setup. I know we do a lot of truck funding for Ukraine, but man, I really need support from my independent media. And maybe the more I get back out here and people see it, the better they'll be like, oh, okay. Because right now I'm just known for at-home streams. Hey, it's working. Yep, I'm gonna give you guys something here. I was live on Facebook though. We were live on Facebook for like the last hour. And it worked, and there were like 300 people watching on Facebook. Hello. Hey Randy, I think you're a loser. I think all MAGA that I don't understand things are losers. Is that okay? Is that a good trade-off? I think not understanding basic concepts makes you a loser. As long as we can go back and forth on that. The gamer guy, you're damn right. I can play 9 hours of Armor Reforger with an amazing community and still cover current events. Does that make you mad? I hope it does. So many people out here. Yeah, Ukrainian flags all over the place. There were so many people. You forgot to check Facebook? Yep, we're live on Facebook for an hour. We were able to cover. I was up on the steps. It's dissipating now at this point, but guys, like we're gonna go through. I have video to post. I have videos to upload. It was wild. It's pissing rain where you're at. I mean, like, guys, we're talking like, I don't know if you guys can see. You guys can't see that. It's like, cool music now. Can you guys see that? There was no service available. You guys can like barely see. It's because of the glare from the sun. Come on, there you go. Photos like, bruh, this shit, there's tens of thousands of people here. At least 10,000. I'm just showing you. We'll go through a high quality video later for the stream for YouTube and Twitch and X. But Facebook was it. You know, Facebook, when in doubt, I'm going to just pull Facebook out. Guys, I'm telling you, this shit was the biggest protest I've seen. This is the biggest protest I've seen since 2020. in Minnesota. By far. By far. This whole thing was full. This whole thing was full of people. There were people like, it sounded like a stadium over there. There were hundreds of people over there. Chris June has photos too, so we'll have pictures from Chris June. Maybe we'll try to find Chris. See if he's around here still. He might be taking pics. When I do that, you guys can't see the chat on the screen, right? Hold on. I need to adjust that so I can see. No. Okay, good. How's the look of it though? You got the Mercado Media in the bottom left. Yeah, it's growing. It's growing massive since the first one. But we're gonna have pictures. Everything was great. Oh, school buses, mega about to get, yeah. Yeah, they somehow, those 3 school buses brought 10,000 people here, guys, and they're still sitting over there. But all the people left. The mega will find any way to cope, I realize that. There's no sense in, like, arguing with it. There's no sense in even, like, debating it. They will find a way to cope. It looks cool and professional, yeah, I wish I could have streamed it. I took video, though. I walked around with video. It's starting to get windy out here. We should go talk to some people, like while we're walking. I want to go talk to this guy over here. I know, it's like, I tried to bring as much stuff as I could, but it was tough. Lady, thank you for the gifted. You need your sheriff people there, I'm not sure. Guys, there were so many people here, it wasn't even funny. Let me start walking back. I need a wind sock for the mic. I don't have a mic on, there's too many people. I need to get my IRL setup finished. Why aren't those guys working on a Saturday? Still about 100 to a few hundred people here. All things considered. St. Paul Capital, downtown St. Paul. They got a table over here. You had you had Ukrainian flags standing together with Palestinian flags, and I'm just saying right now, that's the move for me. I do not stand with Israel. I'm letting that be known now too. All right, I'm done. Free Palestine. Ain't no more fucking around about it. Ain't no sense in playing games. Ukraine and Palestine have the same fight. We are back. I had to respond to a comment on there. Alright. A lot of song. I had to respond to a comment out there. This is such a vibe, he said. Iran and Putin are funding Hamas. You know what? Probably, but overall, Israel's actions on Palestine have been unforgivable. Unforgivable. And not everybody in Palestine is Hamas. So that's just like Russia saying that everybody in every Ukrainian is a Nazi, and that Azov, every Ukrainian unit is Azov. It's the exact same. It's literally the exact same. I've been covering it for years. It's the same. Did everybody leave? Not everybody. There's still a couple hundred people. Yep. Palestinian flags and Ukrainian flags in solidarity. That's the move too. You want the maximum amount of attention on both Ukraine and Palestine? You gotta stand together. Gotta stand together. Or you're gonna be fighting over issues with the country fighting the same things. Yeah, protests in DC is huge. So is this one. This one's ended. I didn't have enough service out here. He said you want to care about Palestine, but it's hard due to their treatment of LGBT. What do you mean? I mean, you're not going to agree with every call. I mean, yeah, only in the West do you have the maximum amount of rights, like in Western countries for minority identity related things. We'll call it that. Other countries around the world, you don't have it. That's why what America has is very important, actually. But I mean, it's wrong to bomb civilian apartment buildings. That's why it's bothered me. The one move that bothered me the most too, that got me, well, because I was covering Ukraine for so long, was when the World Central Kitchen workers were hit with a drone or whatever from Israel. I was like, oh, okay. They are like Russia. They are like Russia. They act the exact same. Booker speaking in New Jersey. That's cool. Man, it was good to see so many people out here again, though. We will have a good stream tonight going through it all. You disagree Israel is wrong on how they're handling this, but it's not the same as Russia invading Ukraine. About what?
What? Oh, nice press pass.
Thanks.
What's your deal?
What deal?
You say things like, this is all. It's like this. Like the Trump administration is the younger child, and they have to.
Yeah. Because of the immaturity of the whole thing. Yeah. Like they got to be defeated at this point.
How?
Like not win another election again. Like you just. So education needs to continue. I mean, beyond that.
What education?
Current events, misinformation.
Okay, so like more like.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to re-educate.
Not necessarily not necessarily re-educate, but like some media literacy classes would be great. Like how to actually dissect information, like how to look at it critically, and not just like whatever you hear right away is like the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think both sides are doing that?
Like, what do you mean? Okay, name some.
Like your side is doing that.
What's my side?
I think you lean.
Well, we can do this. What's my side?
I think. Well, it's everyone's side here.
Yeah.
It's also my side, but I hear your side, your perspective. It's kind of like terrorists.
Sure.
It's like sometimes when
What do you?
Because
Okay.
they were trying to correct my behavior.
Yeah.
And they were trying to set me on a course that was more in line with their thing. So the tariffs are a good example in my perspective.
Oh, jeez.
The lashing out of people.
So you're kind of like making my argument for me. Remember when I said earlier that MAGA is kind of like a child, and you're literally like kind of making that argument for me, are you not?
No, I'm saying I'm saying the commentary around tariffs and Trump ruining the economy is in the back pocket of Wall Street. That's all easy, convenient stories.
I don't think it's a story. I think it's. I mean, do you have access? Do you have access to like the stock market numbers? Do you not do that? You see what's happening?
It's tanky.
Yeah. Why is that happening? Why is it happening? Why is it happening? No. Nah, maybe, probably because of the tariffs.
It's also a vote for ruining.
That sounds like hope. That sounds like
I'm not
hope.
saying it's intentional.
And-
There's obviously people who are apolitical, who aren't making decisions.
Yeah, they make their money decisions, but these are bad money decisions. That's why it's like apolitical to be against the tariffs. It's like we've worked away from tariffs since like World War I. We've just slowly gone downhill because a global economy actually is better. We are all more profitable under a global economy, actually. Because you think about it, you have more access to more people buying your thing, right? Like if we're working with Canada, if we're working with Europe.
American goods, yeah.
What's up, buddy? Oh, my bad.
Right there, buddy.
You gotta grab the rail.
I like your sign.
Yes. Have your Republican friends watch his memorial.
All right.
2018.
Okay.
Anyway.
You're a Republican friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
Died 2018. Rest in peace.
He's gone. He's gone now. God rest his soul.
Anyways, so tariffs. They don't work. That's why we worked against it. It's something about a memorial. Your Republican friends. I don't know. Tariffs don't work. That's why the economy's tanking and why we have a recession coming. Yeah, it's your tech support.
Tech support.
Yeah.
So
But we're not gonna. No. It's not gonna.
Don't know how to use fucking computers.
Okay,
You
neither does
understand?
Trump.
People, no, it's true. He says everything's a computer, and that's his mind. He doesn't understand it as well. Tesla is everything's computer. That's how his.
Do you understand how like a lot of
That's
Americans?
How these people
Yes.
do.
Sometimes.
It's a fucking computer.
Not
You're
everybody.
plugging it and stealing money. And
Yeah, but they're also not running the country though. They're not like platforming absolute like if they're memeing and doing 4D chess with fascism, it's like not a good strategy. Like it's not like if you're just saying, hey, I'm just gonna do this just to like drive votes, or like if you're not even doing fascism, but you're just like trying to meme on it and like play with it, it's still a negative effect. Like fascism as like in general is bad, but like playing around with it and like posting about it, like Elon on Maine on Twitter just saying crazy shit about
He is saying crazy
yes,
shit.
and it's not like that is exactly why so many people show up to shit like this, and like it's gonna continue to grow because
It's outrage.
it's not it's just outrage. So
Yeah, very good. Thank you. And he is pressing a button that needed
oh boy.
to kind of be pressed, though. You have to go through the hunger, the growth, the being disenfranchised. You can't always be successful and say that shit. You have to kind of be disenfranchised for a period, and you have to. He brought down his plight.
Who's this? No, okay. No. Absolutely not.
In Silicon Valley and
No.
the tech bros.
No.
And he said, "Fuck, I'm getting kind of fucked."
How did he make trillions of dollars from the election then? Like he made money up from the election. Remember when he paid for Trump?
I don't claim to know how he made money from the election.
That's the thing.
did he
So
make money?
because of his investments and because of X and because of XAI, he just used his company to buy his other company. So like for Elon's companies, we already have them subsidized. So taxpayers pay for that. So we pay for his stuff. We pay for SpaceX. We pay for Tesla because it's government subsidized. Because we moved to electric vehicles. I drive a Ford. I don't drive an electric vehicle. But we moved to electric vehicles, and now because America as a whole, like as a state, wants to move towards a greener environment. So like Elon's company gets the tax. They get our taxpayer money because they have subsidies. So
I don't know how much they get.
Yeah, right. But still, it doesn't. I guess it matters less because people know that Elon's getting our money. Yeah. So when you see the fact that he's getting our tax money, and he's acting like this, cutting benefits, like he wants to cut Social Security, he's calling it a fraud, he's calling it all this, like that is gonna. this is just going to continue to grow, like, and it's going to be so massive.
But what would you call it when you have a registry of people, and you're finding thousands and thousands of 150-year-olds?
Where there's no third. I don't.
150-year-old people. They have to
verify it. There's no sourcing on it.
That. I haven't personally verified that.
Yes, and I can't either. And I have a bit. So listen, I don't know.
Like thousands, 150,
Yeah,
170-year-olds.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's probably made up. I'm saying that now. Okay, I say probably because obviously I can't access the sourcing either. There's no sourcing. It just doesn't exist. They're just making stuff up. I went into the website and looked at some of their expenditure receipts from things that we're paying for, and it was literally just created like a few weeks ago. Like they just made it up. It's like the cutting of spending in Doge, like in random things, like the condoms and whatever. That's all. Like we have they misconstrued what it's actually for and lied about what it is, and they lied about the amount of money that's going to it. But regardless, for me, I support the fact that we have to vote for local politicians to go to Washington D.C. Right? They have to go there, and they're the ones that have to cut spending. Like if we have too much bloated spending, they need to be the ones to vote that down, because that's what we put them there. Like we didn't put Elon there. Nobody put Elon there.
Why would they go there and vote down the prices of their
because we demand it. Because no, it's not their pockets. What pocket? Who's getting USAID aid payments?
What? USAID?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well that's one of them. That's one of the things that's been cut. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Other countries are extremely wasteful with USAID.
How do you know this?
They've USAID. There's videos of like in African countries that got USAID, like computers, desks, like Wi-Fi shit, like basic stuff, have a basic infrastructure. They threw it all away and they fucking took the money. Of course they did. They pocketed that money. They said, "Oh, thanks for your donations. You got the desks and the fancy computer shit."
Right.
They said, "Fuck that."
But there could be good faith.
Scrapyard.
There could be some good faith examples of like actual waste or fraud like that for sure. But overall, though, as like a whole, it's good for our soft power. That way, we don't have to go to war with everybody, and that way, we're not like literally fighting Russia. Actually, like because we have soft power in places like Africa, which Russia is moving further into Africa. Like Russia's doing like Nazi Germany style of tactics inside of Africa. Just like Hitler wanted to. So they're moving in. The French are leaving. Well, they did bad. I'm not saying they did good there either, but the French are leaving. We have a couple bases or whatever there still, but the Russians are really coming into Africa. But things like
Russians have bases in Africa.
Oh yeah, with the Wagner group and all the other things that they have going on. But it's soft power stuff, right? We're not waging war over Africa with Russia, right? We have a soft power because we give humanitarian aid there, and the people they need us, right? They need us for that stuff, and that's power. That's still power. So when we're cutting that, that's making these countries look to China. They're looking to Russia now. Actually, like, okay, well, America left us. Now I guess Russia can, or anywhere else. These countries, or North Korea now, because they've been joined Russia in the war.
So you're saying taking that money out, they're just going to find somewhere.
They're going to find somewhere else. Yeah, it's going to be filled in, of course. It's a void. It's a void that needs to be filled, right? When you take money, you take something away, it's going to be replaced, and it's going to be replaced with China money, which apparently America. Sure, but that's apparently our biggest rival now, right? So how does that make sense, huh?
Always has been.
Sure.
Well, Russia was
the rail.
Yeah. Of course, you use the rail.
My body is older than me.
Everyone loves these rails.
As long as you keep the hands off of Medicaid, that's all I care about.
The good old bumpers for the bowling alley.
Yeah. So overall, like I'd be for a good faith audit if it was done and we could all look at the work that they're doing, and they're not doing that at all. They're just like, here's the end result. Okay, show us the work. Like when we were in school, we had to show our work, right?
Show your work.
We had to show. When we had to do math problems, we couldn't just give the answer, right? We had to show like the whole thing. That's what I want to see, and we're not seeing that. Why are we not seeing that? We should be. Most transparent administration, right?
That's what they show us the work.
They don't though.
But that's a very important thing that like they're doing important work in my opinion. They can't, if they show their work and show how to access certain things through other access points.
What do we do when they don't do that though, and they're just kind of like cutting things?
For most businesses, the bottom line,
right?
It's like, okay, we just made an investment in this.
Yeah.
We just took this money out of this, and we want to share it with our employees.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yep.
If your boss was saying, "Oh, we negotiated with this guy, we got the passwords and access and technical shit from this guy," like the showing all your work part is not what Americans want to know. They want
A lot of us do.
Most people want to get the bottom line. Okay, I have 5 minutes to read about what Doge did today. Give me like the basic rundown.
Right. A lot of Americans do have this time,
Do you
though.
think if Democrats did Doge, they would actually tell you what they cut?
They wouldn't do Doge. They would have it go through the Congress. So, like, actually, Obama wanted to do this. Obama wanted to do this. He actually ran on this. He ran on cutting waste, fraud, and spending. But he wanted to do it with Joe Biden, who was the vice president, which is what you're supposed to do, working with Congress, right? Because the vice president can do this. And he literally was like, Joe Biden's going to run this. Nothing really came of it because we were so busy with the Middle East still. And the war on terror was still going. But Joe Biden was going to work with Congress to do it. Well, Obama was president. It never happened. I'm not saying it happened, but that was what they wanted to do, and they actually did run on this issue before. So
I'm sure there was some war that they got everyone.
Or I'm sure, sure, could have been.
Oh,
Or like, yeah,
we're going to fucking-
the Middle East was a big part of that. A lot of spending there. That's why aren't we looking into any more military spending? How much do we spend there? It's trillions.
I think they are going to look.
Why haven't they started there? That's where the most spending is.
That's a touchy subject because you start to cut military stuff. Oh, Elon's taking he's literally cutting the price of rifles.
Okay, I got one for you.
Getting shitty.
The new F-47 jet, Trump's new jet. We don't need that. We don't need that, bro.
We don't need that.
We don't need that. We don't need the F-47. We have an F-35. That thing is already an air tank, and that thing is already the state-of-the-art jet. We don't need another one. That's an example of some shit that we can cut or we don't need anymore, or old equipment. Like, that's why I support Ukraine getting our old stuff, right? Our old military equipment that we've already paid taxes on from like the 2000s, the 2010s. All of that's still sitting collecting dust, but taxpayers paid for it. So give that shit to like Ukraine or somebody that needs it, and then we can get new military equipment, for example. And that's like ways we can like actually cut, spending or things that are just sitting and like collecting dust that we've paid so much money for already. So I feel like there are actual good faith cuts, and like Americans would want, like even everyone that was out here today would support like good faith wasteful cuts, spending cuts, fraud, which it inevitably does. Like I think we would both agree there's fraud and waste and abuse in the government.
Yes.
But it needs to be done right. It needs to be done the right way, in transparent way. Show the work with Congress, because that's why we elect them. Otherwise, why are we electing people? Or like, why do we even vote? Why do they even have offices? Why do they have a building like this? You know what?
To approve a cut, that could take
But
months.
that's just how it works, though. That's the government, man. I serve.
Bureaucracy.
You
gotta go through all the bureaucracy.
that's just. I mean, I'm not. So I'm also okay with good faith red tape cutting. If like there's people in positions that are literally just like middlemen, and they're just like you don't need that person there. It can just go direct line of communication, but it needs to be done right. It needs to be transparent, and it needs to be so we can see how it's being done. Show your work with Congress, because that's why we elect them. Otherwise, what's the point? That's what they're there for. They're there to work through bills, cut government spending, and cut bills. Right? Spending and cutting. They have to cut it both. So
we need to show the work and bring back the Department of Education.
Yeah. Not necessarily. We don't need the Department of Education for this, but like, I don't know, like in public schooling, they didn't do a good job of actually doing like media literacy or reading comprehension classes.
Yeah.
Like you were basically just tested on reading comprehension. If you could comprehend what was there without being like really taught how to do it. Things like that, like how to break down a sentence. What is this person saying to me? What is this? What is the message they're trying to send to me? What are they trying to get me to do?
So
things like that. If that's what they want to
teach
do.
Language to young kids, and
or just like
tell them how to decipher different messages.
Or just like conversation skills would be great. Like we all just text now, right? Or just like how to talk to somebody, how to if somebody has a motivation, like if you have somebody from a company talking about things they care about, they probably have a monetized reason they're doing it, right?
Yeah.
Instead of somebody coming from a good faith like grassroots perspective, like they just genuinely care about this thing.
Right.
So you could like teach the difference between, hey, this is something that's trying to sell you something versus something that's trying to just get you to be a part of it without wanting to take your money, or just being honest about the world we live in, because we live in a monetized world. People are trying to make money off of you,
Yeah.
So
there's so many different ways to do that now.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Elon. I think also, what are they going to do with space? NASA. They
I don't
need to
know.
look into NASA. They need to They need to evaluate what is real and what is not, and say, look, we're going to do some tough shit that you guys might lose some jobs. But NASA, we know what you're doing.
What's the issues with NASA?
They're doing simulations of space
Where's this? Where are you hearing this from? I haven't heard of this one. Swear to God, never heard this one. I just started watching Elon's rockets again, so I don't know what this one is.
I'm not gonna get into it all.
Oh boy, is it a doozy? It's a doozy.
They've caught them multiple times doing green screens.
Green screens, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to.
Wires.
Yeah.
Hanging from wires.
Oh wow, like a movie set, like Avengers or something.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You ever seen the Wag the Dog movie?
No, Wag the Dog. Is it on YouTube?
Or I think it's Wag the Dog, or something along the lines with the dog. Dennis, that one of the famous actors, Hoffman's in it.
Yeah.
And he's like an orchestrator behind the scenes. Basically, they can orchestrate something to make it look like anything's happening, and they can get the government funding to do it, and it's for national security.
Okay.
And they hire a person. Look, we got to do this. This is a matter of national security. You're the perfect person.
So
they do that,
so the concern so we have two space organizations now. We have NASA, which is obviously publicly funded from taxpayers, and then you have SpaceX, which is obviously Elon's company, which gets taxpayer subsidies. Would you have the same concerns for like SpaceX then?
I have had the same concerns about SpaceX because the car in space, it looks like a photo green screen on top of a little rocket thing.
Do you feel like a lot of that stuff fuels your questionable things for NASA, or did your NASA question start before Elon, before SpaceX?
It started at the same time when Elon and NASA was doing that, and then there was the Baumgartner jump. Yeah. And also, they get government funding for all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's tons of work and shit to look into and make a really tough decision. And there's a famous economist that said all this 20 years ago, and he said the guy had an interview. He was a very famous economist. He had a list of things. He said, "Do we keep or cut?" And he just rattled off all the departments. Okay. And the guy's, I forget his name. Everyone will know who it is. He's very respected. He said, "Cut, cut." They were talking about cutting all this shit 20, 25 years ago. Okay. And
I'll look into it.
That's when a lot of things were taken over 20, 25 years ago. That's when we started losing a lot of manufacturing, the service economy. So most people here, though, they're like, fuck all that. Don't look into any of this shit. He's cutting our reproductive rights. He's cutting our education.
Well, they are doing that though. That's why they're saying it. Like, I would feel you if it was just kind of like messaging thing, like if it was just like, hey, just say that they're doing this. But I just watched C-SPAN and it's boring because you just sit there and watch them vote. But they just voted to cut trillions in Medicare. That's why signs like this exist, right? That's why people have shit like that. And then the Department of Education, literally, like, I mean, you can't argue that one, right? The Trump is trying to literally destroy that. And when it comes to reproductive rights, you got...
Well, you said it yourself at the beginning when I started talking to you.
What's that?
People aren't literate. People can't read a fucking book.
Yeah.
They can't read and extrapolate information.
Right.
So we have a failing literacy rate.
But because of the funding into it, too, has been declining.
So it needs to be boosted.
In ways, I would not in general. I wouldn't say just like a general boost. I would be like, I'd have to look at it if I was like the one that's like, hey, we're gonna put money into the Department of Education to fund. Like I'm more of like the arts or like the sports, the extracurriculars, like keeping kids busy, keeping their mind occupied. Like that will help them with media literacy. Like if they're playing musical instruments, if they're out there playing catch with a football or something, or a baseball, or kicking a ball around, they're probably gonna be able to decipher news better than, or if they're fed properly. That's why I support the child tax credits, or like the free school lunches that Tim Walz put together, right, for the kids, because then they can eat and then they can think. Because if you don't eat, you can't think. You don't want to do shit. You're just like, I'm hungry. Like I just want to go to you don't want to do anything.
They feed them.
Yeah.
They feed them.
Yeah.
But the school lunch thing, I'm sure Walt's doing a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I would argue that one could be like a bipartisan good thing, because like even like conservative parents, their kids are probably receiving some benefits to that, because they get to just drop their kid off and then they get breakfast, like, because the parents are probably working, they don't have time to make breakfast. We have to work like 3 jobs now.
Yeah, so they set it all up for the schools to raise the children.
Not necessarily. I wouldn't say that. Like you're not raising the kids.
Public education has become like a babysitter.
Well, I mean, look at the reality of working and how much people have to work now. They have to work 2-3 jobs just to get by.
And that's why Trump is. He said he shouldn't have to fucking do that.
Yeah,
Americans shouldn't have to work 2 jobs to not afford your rent, to not afford this.
But he sure is making it
Radical
harder.
action
Listen, he
is
sure is
needed.
he sure is making it weird by cutting hundreds of thousands of jobs right now, tanking the economy, like our future. Like I'm 32. My future looks bleak. My future looks bleak, and then Trump's actions are not like making me confident in my future. They're making me not confident because he's like it's as if he's trying to like get rid of all of us right now. Like everybody that is not like there yet, he wants to just. He even posted. He just said only the strong will survive. We live in survival of the fittest at the end of the day, don't we? You know, and I'm working there, but I'm concerned. Like I'm not, like I have an apartment. I don't have a house yet. I want a house though. I want a family. I do, but the actions he's taking is going to make that like tenfold harder for me, because because I'm not 60 years old and established with the 401k yet, or like with wealth established. Like I think his policies will work with people that have wealth, with people that have lots of money saved because they can afford this downturn or whatever, the temporary pain for the gain or whatever he's saying. It's people that are rich can afford this. Most of us can't.
It's a principle. It's like temporary pain for maximization of potential long-term gain.
Okay.
And there's a lot of fucking people in this country that fucking do whatever's needed at the moment to make a quick $300.
Yeah.
And they don't. I can just go do this and get $300. Sell a gram, sell an ounce, boom.
Yeah,
and
quick
then
money.
People are looking at the long term and saying, "Hey, let me actually do it long term wealth."
Right.
And so
I guess, like I said, I would
kind of mentioning that.
Yeah.
Get into the discussion again.
Yeah, I guess, like I said, I'd be more confident for like the working class if like the tax cuts were helping the working class or anything like that. It's from what I'm seeing, it's mostly just helping people that are already like super rich. But if things change, I'll look at it again. But I'm not seeing any of that from Trump or anything. I didn't see it from his first term, and we're definitely not seeing it now. Like that's why so many people showed up. But hey, buddy, it was a good talking to you. It was a good conversation. Yeah. I got to get going. I got to go to Washington, D.C. So you take care.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, good chat. Good chat. Keep coming to these things. I'm not going to change his mind right now, but that's a... He seemed like he's questioning. He's like he is on the edge. He's there. He's there. He wasn't arguing with me, and he was listening. He still feels the way he feels, but like you can tell there's like a couple layers have been stripped away from him. And probably, so he's probably, and you guys are like, walk away, this dude doesn't know anything. That's a perfect example of like how people that used to support Trump or like MAGA or Elon, and how they no longer support after a while, right? Because they're having he has a lot of things on his mind, a lot of things going on there, and only when they're like absolutely challenged to the point where there's nothing to talk about, I kind of got him. He's like, hey, I heard you saying that MAGA is like a child and they need to be punished. And then he went and was like, well, America's like a child and like these tariffs are like, they'll punish us. And I'm like, it sounds like a child's argument for what I said. But yeah, I mean, I could, it started off a little hot, but, by the end of it, I think a few more of these, and that dude's going to come out on the other side, I think. It's rough. It's rough to figure out that you've been lied to. Promise. I voted for Trump in 2016, if you don't know. I was Republican my whole life. I volunteered for John McCain in his campaign. Voted for Mitt Romney. I'm out of shape now, so walking is challenging apparently. Trump in 16. And then his first presidency was enough for me to be like, yeah, we just can't do that again. I don't know if I was done voting Republican. We can go this way. I don't know if I was necessarily done voting Republican then, but Trump was out for me. And then the way I've seen the Republican Party just not rebuke him and say, hey, we're some Republicans, but we can't support that, Trump. We can't support subverting democracy and abandoning our allies. shitting on the Constitution. We can't support that, Trump. They never did that. They just double downed. So it's the Republican Party's dead, but it's also dead to me. But a lot of the things that kept me like conservative and Republican back in the day were because a lot of the lies that dude was talking about. Not that just the media you watch when you're right wing cooks you. Like you get cooked, fully cooked, in the air fryer every day. I don't even know what he was talking. He brought up green screens. I think that's a Russia one. Russia likes to use the green screen conspiracy bullshit. That's the same thing they said about Zelensky when Zelensky was still in Kyiv after the Russians invaded. So I'm thinking that could be from a similar source, wherever he's getting that from. I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, I mean, he showed up though. He showed up and listened. I feel like sitting there and listening to the protest had him question some of his own biases, which is good to have. A lot of buzzwords, yeah. Yeah, it could be a lot of buzzwords, but I gotta remember how to get back to where I'm at. This might be a challenge. They think it's a Hollywood. Let me see. They think it's Hollywood's fault. I can't even see your guys' comments. I'll read the comments back. I'll read the comments back when I get home. We the people, not even a physical for sport. I don't know what you guys are talking about. The comments look crazy. My other phone died. I'm gonna have to do this all off of memory map. Lost in St. Paul? No, I'm not lost. I was born and raised in St. Paul, not downtown, but we're just, the protest was so massive we had to park blocks and blocks away. Did you guys like hear and see that whole exchange, or was it muted or muffled? I don't know if you guys could hear that whole exchange. Can you read all caps? A little easier. A little easier. He was the only one that walked up and wanted to say something, though. I guess, like, in that crowd, it was just there was no room. There were like 10,000 some people there. That was the biggest protest I've seen. Like, I was like, my eyes were just like open when we turned the corner. The feed cut, unfortunately. I think you guys got to see a block of. We walked like a block, and you guys got to see some people. But when we turned that corner, holy! This didn't start until like these massive protests didn't start until the end of his presidency. We got to get that IRL stream kit, guys. Got to finish fundraising for the stream kit, become members of the channel, supporters of the page, Twitch subs, Prime subs, all that helps me get equipment. It's good when it's good, like right now, like it's good. But, you know, when we're in big crowds like that, I need the extra power of the live view. I have to wait a little bit to get it because we have the Action Summit coming up, and that was expensive. Life is expensive. Thank you for supporting independent media. Had to get the plane ticket and lodging. Gonna go advocate for some more bills to support Ukraine and Congress this week, which I'll be streaming there. I will be streaming in Washington, D.C. I think there's actually a rally for Ukraine there that we're going to be a part of. There's a big rally today in Washington, D.C. for the 50501. Oh boy. I think I go this way. I can't remember exactly where I turned. We'll figure it out though. I'll figure it out. Renegade comms. I gotta go get my suit. What time? I don't even. What time is it? 3:30. Yeah, I gotta go get my suit from the. Oh, we can't walk in. Oops. That would have been dangerous. Wait. Busy streets. I wish I could see what you guys are saying. Yeah, it's somewhere around here. Well, my vehicle's around here somewhere. I had to park so goddamn far away. It's a hike. It was a freaking hike to get here, you guys. You think somebody stole it? Oh no. Oh no, heck. All right, well, I'm gonna get back to my car. No sense in. We'll talk about the protest and everything when I get home and get situated. And then we got Arma Reforager maybe tonight. I have to do laundry and pack. So I got to do laundry and pack, but maybe Arma Reforager on my gaming channel, guys. Hey, go check out Facebook. I did stream the protest itself. I could only get a signal to Facebook. Gotta walk across. Hold on. I tried so many times, and I walked all over the place to try to get a signal. But you guys got a good debate at the end. You got that at least. Try to show you guys what happened. But like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna enjoy this beautiful day walking and going to get to my truck. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll check in tonight with you. Maybe just like an hour of stream. We'll see what time it is. Definitely tomorrow though, because I leave for Washington, D.C. tomorrow morning. So I'll be on the plane, and then I arrive in D.C. by like 11 a.m. So expect DC stream starting tomorrow. Take care, you guys. Mercado Media. Take care. Have a good one.